So I'm just doing a quick update on my Alienware R13. After about a year of having it, I have decided to upgrade the AIO in it to a 240. So you see, there's no longer the 120 in the back. That's just the fan mounted to the bracket, and there's still just one fan mounted up there. Now I have a Kraken Z AIO because it uses the same retention like clip-on bracket, so I was able to just take the bracket off of the stock AIO and put it onto this one's pump. And then I have the 240 up front. Note that you can do 4-fan push-pull with a 240 in this case, but you do have to remove, let me see if I can get my finger in there. See the white connector back there? There's a black plastic cover on it, like these ones up here. You see how the black plastic cover? You have to remove the black plastic cover from that white connector for the power supply in order to do push-pull. So I have push-pull. There's 2 fans on the inside pulling there. And actually, no, sorry. So I have air coming in from the back, intake in the back, and the AIO is the exhaust going out the front. So these are the push, and then there's 2 more, the stock non-RGB fans that came on the AIO are back here pushing. You can't really see them, but they're in there. It's push-pull. It's a push-pull setup. So 240 does fit with push-pull. Note that I do have the tubes going to the top of the AIO, which if you watched Gamers Nexus video isn't ideal for acoustics. It can cause bubbling sounds in the fluid, which I haven't had. But the main thing is the pump is lower than the radiator, so it won't kill the pump. So anybody wondering that, no, the pump is fine. The only possibility of this is maybe, depending on the AIO or how filled up the loop is, you may have bubbling sounds from the tubes being at the top. But other than that, I haven't had any bubbling. The only thing I will say is the power supply fan is going to make a lot of noise in game, because the reason why it had that plastic shroud here is not for the graphics card, it's for the power supply. The power supply has these 2 little, like, I don't know, 90mm fans. If you watch Gamers Nexus video on this computer, that's what he talks about it. The fans on the power supply is what makes most of the noise in this system. Alright, so again, 240 AIO does fit. If I was to do it again, maybe I'd make the front intake instead. Maybe the air would get through to the power supply and it wouldn't make as much noise. What I might end up doing is maybe I'll take the case back apart and pull the hard drive cage out there, flip these fans around, do this intake in the front, exhaust out the back, and maybe that'll help with the power supply noise. Maybe I can try like modifying the back panel, that I could put this RGB hub in the back. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to be a lot of modifying that back panel because there's not really any room in there. I would have to cut all that plastic reinforcements, that black panel out in order to make that fit out there in the back. But that's the one major downside, is the power supply fan is very loud. But you can see my CPU is idling at 29 degrees. Oh, and I also have the Intel 12th Gen Thermalright bracket on there. So I removed the stock spring-loaded retention plate and put the Thermalright one that you can get on Amazon for like $5. So I have that plus a 240, and she idles at 29, 30 degrees. In games, she hits maybe, I think 70 was the max. The GPU hits about 80. So it's a lot better than it was stock. I was thermal throttling before with that 120. and my idle was like 45-50 before. So I was idling like 45-50 and thermal throttling at 95 degrees in game with the 120. Now I'm idling at 29-30. Sometimes if I'm doing a lot of stuff in browsers or watching video, it might hit 35 or 40. But the max I've seen is, I think, 75, 77. I have not hit 80 degrees with this 240. All right.